Awesome. So, God, thank you guys for attending today. So some of you were on our webinar that we had on Tuesday about how to access the activity finder and how to use it. Today's one is about, hi Andy. Today's one is about how to upload your sessions. So it's similar. Some of the things, we've got Dominic, who was in our meeting the other day, so I'll obviously get him to introduce himself, and we have Indy as well here today, and Indy is from London Sport. So I will quickly just share my screen and go through our what Moving More is, and who I am really, because some of you obviously I haven't virtually met or in person met as of yet, so just bear with me. I am Lindsay. I have been brought in as a joint collaboration between the NHS and the Herts and Physical Activity Partnership. I've been brought in to work solely on this Moving More project to get more people to be using Moving More, to get people more accessing Moving More and uploading their sessions, and to get, our final aim is to hopefully try and get Moving More into GPs, social prescribers, link workers, community workers, and not necessarily having it prescribed to patients and clients, but having it used as an alternative or alongside other medication as well, and just to try and take the weight load off GPs and social prescribers. I'm really lucky that my employment is by Hertfordshire GP Federation, which we have a doctor called Panny, who is working behind the scenes with me on that one, and he is very heavily involved in Moving More and really advocates everything we stand for. So what is Moving More? It is essentially just an initiative to improve awareness of physical opportunities in Hertfordshire. Whilst it is entirely powered by HSP, and a lot of the work that I do with HSP is a standalone website. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at it, because we relaunched it on the 5th of February. And with the relaunch, we have a whole new workout at home section, which has got activities such as working out with your family, low impact, high impact, apps that you can do outside of the home, as well as some seated and things that you can do if you have any long-term health conditions. We also have an entire area dedicated to health professionals. So there's a lot more information, links, PDF documents that you can go to help look for physical activity with specific health conditions. Their area obviously isn't only for health professionals to access, everyone can. What we've marketed towards health professionals especially. So it is our key outcomes are for the residents of Hertfordshire, or those working with them in the enablers, and those working with them, for the providers. So although we are really lucky that we have the Everyone Actives, this Inspiral and the Stevenage Leisures on there, we want to be able to get people like the smaller village halls, the individual classes that wouldn't normally get the same opportunities to promote in the same way that the larger community sessions do. So essentially, because it is free marketing, it is completely puts everybody on the same level playing field. There is no favoritism. There is no somebody appears higher because they're from a bigger organisation. Everyone is along the same playing field. So what I will do now, I will let Thomas, Dominic and Indy introduce themselves and explain their roles within either HSP or what they do. And then I will let Dominic do his part on what open sessions is. If you do have any questions for any of us, if you just drop them in the Q&A on the chat, and at the end we'll get to them, and between us hopefully we'll be able to answer it for you. So yeah, Tom, if you'd like to introduce yourself first.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Lindsay. So I'm Tom Horry from Hertsport and Physical Activity Partnership. So I work quite closely with Lindsay around Moving More, kind of more strategically. So if you're looking to upload your sessions or need assistance with that, then it'll probably be going through Lindsay. But kind of I work more behind the scenes around Moving More and kind of looking to achieve all those objectives that Lindsay outlined within her introduction.
Hello, everyone. This is Dominic here from Imin, and Imin works together with Plaid to provide the live activity finder. And what we do at Imin is help to provide that sort of live activity information, essentially through you guys, the providers. So we help to sort of aggregate it and then sort of filter it so that it kind of comes through in the best possible way for you guys.
And hey guys, sorry, it's not letting me put my camera on. It says host has stopped. I'm not sure why. But I work for London Sport on the engagement side of things, specifically about digital and tech. And one of our digital products is Open Sessions, which is the tool that you use to actually upload your sessions onto the activity finder, which I'll let Dominic talk a little bit about before I run through how easy it is to, I'll share my screen and run through how easy it is to actually upload sessions.
Awesome. Dominic, would you be able to share your screen for me and go through your slides you've got for me? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So see if I can make this happen. So hopefully you can. No, not quite yet. So used to Teams, you know, this is quite this change. So hopefully you can see my screen. And what I wanted to do was sort of set the scene a little bit with sort of the context behind moving more and similar finders that are powered by open data. So with the Moving More Finder, it's different from perhaps other activity finders or directories that you guys will have come across before. It's powered by something called Open Active, which is the initiative within sport and physical activity that uses open data. So effectively, there's a number of sort of factors that I'm going to run through that sort of highlight how this finder is different from sort of the other ones you've seen before. And I guess the first thing to say is that with the Moving More Finder, it's activity focused. So what you'll see is on the left-hand side, and I'll show you in a second, you've got all these different activities from lots of different providers across the county. And this is live information coming straight from the provider. So Indy will talk about sort of how you can upload via open sessions to get your activities published in a way that's open. But there's also other ways which I'll touch on in terms of making sure your activities are pulling through and onto the platform. The exciting thing with such a platform is that because it's live information coming from the activity providers, and because it's really giving residents the opportunity to see activities and from a range of different providers, it means that we can create a really exciting user experience. We can focus on things like social prescribing, as Lindsay mentioned, target sort of certain youth groups, have campaigns perhaps for getting older people active, and we can do a lot of exciting things with this live information. So this is actually an example from the Borough of Sport, so Merton. I'm actually just going to switch on to the Moving More Finder just to give you that quick overview in terms of what I was just saying. So as you can see on that left-hand side, all of these great activities, you know, you've got the likes of yoga, Pilates, and just to click on one of those, just to show you, I can see when those activities are happening and got some information around, you know, the description, the price, a location, and even actually this Wayfinder tool, which is really handy, just telling you all the different ways you can get to that activity. So if I press reserve a spot, it will take me off to the provider's website to be able to sort of participate in the activity. But what we wanted to, you know, I think part of the thing we tried to do with Played in terms of creating this platform is just to give the user as much, you know, as much information as possible to sort of really make that best decision for themselves about what, you know, activities they want to get involved with. You know, you can filter by a number of different things, which is really, you know, which is really powerful. But I'll touch on that in a little bit in a sort of second. Just going back to the slide. So obviously today we're talking to activity providers. So all of you guys will have your activities, and there'll be a number of different sort of different systems that you guys use, or perhaps you won't be using a system at the moment. The idea behind Open Active was to create a way for anyone, so, you know, whether you have a system or not, to be able to contribute to the Open Active ecosystem. And what I mean by that is, you know, you're able to publish information, basically information such as that you will be visible on your website. So the location of an activity, the time, the activity type, the description, all of that information in a standardized way, which can then be used by any open data powered platform. So if I show you this page here, this is in fact a list of all the different platforms that exist that use open data. So when you actually publish your information, you can actually have your activities appearing in all of these different places, wherever it's relevant. So we've obviously got some regional activity finders here, some active partnerships. For you guys, obviously moving more will be, HSP will be your local active partnership. But there's also things like Paralympics GB's Everybody Moves Finder, where your activities can appear if they are, for those with disabilities. So just to give you a quick view of this finder, you can see here's sort of another example of an open data powered finder that uses that same information that you guys will be sharing. If you do, like I say, if you do have disability activities, they can appear on this finder. But there are lots of exciting other platforms that exist out there. So we've got This Girl Can classes that use open data. We've got London Sports Get Active Finder. So if you've got activities within the London area, they will also appear there. And there's more and more activity finders now being, leveraging that live information that's coming straight from you guys. This is sort of a growing initiative, and we're really seeing an increase in the uptake of the initiative. As I say, it's a live platform and it's open to all providers, which regardless of your setup. I've obviously shown you, some of those places where those activities can appear. And the result is we can then have a really sort of high quality platform that users can really sort of make the most of. We can also then see where there are potentially some gaps in different locations or with different activities. So, that live information and that sort of detail, if you like, allows us to create some really high level reports and understand where we can perhaps do more in terms of activity provision, whether that's for sort of free activities in certain areas or the activities in general, perhaps even for certain demographics. This slide I'm not going to touch on, it's not quite relevant, but hopefully this gives you a bit of a flavor of what this activity does, activity finder does, and sort of how it's different in terms of that live of information that's coming straight from the provider, some of the multiple use cases, the fact that it's really just showing those activities on that left-hand side, as well as the fact that it's got that map feature that you can kind of search for activities local to you. We've also got, okay, before I come on to the next point, so how do you get your activities on the Finder? I guess that's the question you'll all be asking at this point. So I'll let Indy run through open sessions and kind of show you how that works. And open sessions is certainly for those that don't have a booking system at the moment. This is the best way to get your activities on there. But even for those that have a system that isn't able to publish open data yet. So if I show you this page here, and I'll probably put this in the chat so you guys can have a look for yourselves. But this page here highlights the systems that can publish open active data. So, and when I say data, it's really just that activity information, right? So we've got some some systems such as Participant, Book When, we've got Playways on there, Team Up. So, there's certainly, a good amount of systems out there, but obviously there's many, many more systems that can publish open data. Oh, sorry, that could have the ability to publish open data. And we're relying on you guys to go out to your systems and say, look, this is something that, Sport England and the open active community have pushed on with. We'd love if we could get our activities published openly as well. So if you're in that boat where you're using a system and you would like it to be able to publish open data, it's not on this list, do get in touch with me, and we can go about trying to enable that system to join the open active community. So just to sort of sum up my part, I'll hand over to Indy in a second to talk through open sessions. But if you do use a system that can publish open data, great. get them in touch with myself or Lindsay, and we can sort of help you to sort of get your activities onto the activity finder. And here's a really great quote actually from Saracen Sport Foundation, which sort of tells you what's possible once you've opened your data, once you've got it published and displaying on all of these exciting finders. They obviously saw an increase in certain sessions in terms of participation by 40% and 28%, and in general, across all activities by at least 10%. So, there's no guarantee that you will see that spike in participation, but it's only going to help. It's like Lindsay mentioned, it's free marketing, and it's that opportunity to get your activity displayed and put in front of more people. So I'm sure you've got some questions, and please do pop them in the chat or in the Q&A, and I'll sure get round to answering them. But yeah, I'm sure the team will also display the activity finder and let you guys have a good look around and sort of see what's possible. So that is, I think that's pretty much the end of my part. And yeah, please do feel free to ask questions.
Yep. Thanks, Dom. That was really clear. I will now just share my screen and basically go through how simple, literally within 5 minutes, you can have a session uploaded into that open data ecosystem that Dom was talking about. And yeah, just how to go about doing it. Bear with me. Sorry, I see why Dom was struggling earlier. Okay, there you go. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, it is literally as simple as Googling open sessions. The one you want to look for is opensessions.io. It's normally the second one down. You click it, you sign up using your organization email address, and it will ask for details about your organization. I've already done that, so 1 second. Just move Zooms out of the way. So yeah, I've already created an account, so I'll just log in like that. But essentially, you want to fill out your organization details. So that's it will prompt you to do it anyway. I haven't filled it out, but essentially, yeah, fill out everything about your organization. You can add your social media, your website, whatnot. And then when you actually want to add a session, it's as simple as clicking these little 3 bars on the side, my sessions, and then add new session. I will just go through like a draft one just to literally show how, say that it loads. Yeah, there. So this is the first screen you'll be faced with when you're uploading your session. Activity types, I'll just write it's football. What activities? I'll do 11 aside and football. Event description, over 18s only. And then just description on how to get there. So I'll say behind the science building, page C. And then you get an option of if it's online, offline, or a bit of both. Mine obviously be football, so it's offline. Email address. Oh, sorry, that was just a bit of lag. So it's asking for the location. So I'll just type school and see if that's what comes up. Yeah, why not? Dentist school. We'll do in outdoors. It'll ask for what facilities you have in the session location. So yeah, just click that. Whether coaching will be provided, and if coaching is your default contact details. This is what, when you're setting up the organization, so after you've created an account, you give details. So if it's the same, you could do that, but if you have a different contact, you can just create something else, which is what I will do. Yeah, you can add images, videos, anything that helps market the session a bit more. Yeah, you can include that here, or a YouTube link as well. We'll do open to all. You can add max participation and skill level as well. So just intermediate, and any on-site disability accessibility functions that you have. I'll do visual impairments and how much it costs. So I'll go Fiverr. Details about the session. If it takes place more than once, you can click this and add a repeated session. The problem with this is it's only if the session is at the same time. So I can do daily, weekly, or monthly repeats. I'll do weekly every Tuesday at the same time that I've put the original session. I think I did midnight, but let's see, no session will be at midnight. Yeah, and then you can choose when you want the repeated sessions to finish. And then yeah, then you, oh gosh, I think I just uploaded that. I wasn't meant to, but yeah, so that's as simple as it is, and your session's uploaded. If you have multiple sessions that are not at the same time, then I will pop this link into the chat, which is it's just the London Sport like a hub where we go to upskill people that we're dropping topics monthly. And one of the topics we dropped was about open data, but I'm sure now you guys are experts on it after listening to Lindsay and Dom, so you won't need that. But essentially, we have got a, so this is just like everything Dom went through before. If you click on publishing your data, we have got this bulk uploader tool here. So you download this spreadsheet. It's just a very basic Excel spreadsheet, but you can write all the details for different sessions in the spreadsheet if it loads, or you can just take my word for it. And then in that same website, it basically just says email it to this person, which is me, and then I'll get my project manager to bulk upload all these sessions. We recommend, if you have more than 20 sessions, to do it this way. If it's less, then yeah, just manually upload each one. Yeah, feel free to shoot over any questions. I'll try my best to answer them. The actual project manager isn't here today. He would be delivering this, but yeah, I will try my best to answer any questions you have. Now I'll try to find out how to stop sharing, which might take a while.
I also have a copy of that bulk upload form as well. So Indy, if you stick the link in the chat for me, but I have a copy of that form as well, because we've been really lucky that we have been part of the pilot scheme that London Sport originally did to bulk upload. We used Hertfordshire Health Walks, and I will be curating a case study for Indy in the next few weeks. So because yeah, and it worked really, really well. It was really helpful with Hertfordshire Health Walks. So it's not to want to put you off if you do have multiple sessions at multiple times on multiple days. We can still get all your data in there. So yeah, we want to make it as accessible as possible. So what I will show you now is our new app function, or the couple of screenshots of the app. So as far as we're aware, we are the only active partnership that have decided to go ahead and do an app alongside our activity finder. It is a web-based app. So you don't need to go into any Apple Store, Google Play. You go onto the Move More website, there's a link and you can click and you can download this app directly to either your desktop or your computer, or you can download it to your phone. We've also got the function with this app to send push notifications as well. So we can see the people that have downloaded the app, or how many people have downloaded the app. And we'll be able to send out notifications. Have you booked onto a session recently? If we are aware of a new session that's uploaded, we can mention that new session within the push notifications as well. So this is a really good additional function, like I said, additional free marketing that we have. And we are, as far as we're aware, we are the first ones that have done this. We also have on our website, we also have, bear with me, a page which shows you how to upload all your sessions. So there's just a quick brief view. I'll show you that now. But this page on the website also shows you how to upload all your sessions. It gives you pretty much what the guys have just said, but in a very, very simple version, whether you're an activity provider or leisure operator. It has these list of booking operators who already have opened their data. So things like Played, Classfinder, Gladstone, Legend that are already on there. And at the bottom here, where it says, if you have any questions, please fill out this Microsoft form. This form is one that we have curated for either people that are either leisure providers or they are uploading it on behalf of somebody else. So this is what it looks like. We've had like some of our guys from Active Local fill them out, or somebody from like a local authority that has filled it out on behalf of somebody else. And it just runs through what help do you need with uploading. This directly comes to me, and I'll then come back to you and get in contact with you to say, you know, what help is it that you need, how can I help you? And it'll either be I can just run you through a couple of things over the telephone or over email, or we can have a chat. And you know, I'm there purely to help you be able to upload your sessions and make it as easy as possible for you. So if you have any questions for either Indy, Dom, or myself, if you could drop them in the Q&A now.
I think we've already got a couple, so
yeah.
people can continue dropping them in, but I think we've got a couple for Indy already.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see them, Indy, but the first one is around adding multiple images for the sessions on open sessions. Is that a function that's possible?
That is a good question, and a question I'm not too sure about. I think you can only have one, but you can bounce it out. So at the end, you'll ask for a URL, and you can bounce it out to whichever website they actually book the session on, where they can have their own pictures or as many pictures as you want. I might be wrong in that. Don't know.
No, I think you're right, Indy. I think it is just one.
Yeah.
I was going to say the duplicate feature on open sessions is really good as well. So if you've got less than 20 activities, that duplicate feature can really help in terms of if you've got one session that's very similar to the other, but there's maybe a couple differences, i.e. the image, you can just duplicate it and then have that alternative image. So that's what I've used before.
There was a second question for you, Indy, as well, on whether you could quickly show the exclusion parts of the scheduler. Not. Does that make sense to you?
No, sorry, the exclusion part.
Sorry, Bob, you might just need to explain a little bit more by what you mean by the exclusion part, if that's all right. And then we can come back to that one.
Sorry, Bob's got another question there. Is the link for the session fixed if you publish and then republish?
As in if you duplicate the session.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the link will be copy and paste, but you can change it if it's like a different booking link or it's another URL that you want to send them to. You can just adapt it, but it will copy and paste from the original listing.
And I'm really sorry, Stuart, we'll get to you, but Danny, your Everyone Active issue, we are fully aware of what's going on there. I am currently in the process of going through every single community programme session and cross-checking them against our back office function that I have and the activity finder. So I am fully aware of the problem that's been going on with Everyone Active, and it is on my radar to fix, essentially. It's just taken me a little bit of time to go through every single one of your community sessions because I'm having to go through Everyone Active's website, open data, our back office function and the activity finder. So Stuart has said, as Swim England, we have our own search engine for what the pools offer, but we are yet to hold the actual session timings and the links. Would it still be possible to just signpost to the pools which offer a certain type of activity? I think that'll possibly be you again, Indy or Dom.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, certainly if you use open sessions, you can link them to any particular page, if that's a page for the pool or otherwise. It just depends if you're using a system, then I think it might, certain systems require a link. But I know open sessions you know, that link can be whatever you'd like it to be.
I've let Bob join so he can ask his question directly, Lindsay.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
if you want to go, Bob.
That's if you've cleared the other questions. I don't want to
No,
dominate
you're,
the.
No,
you're
you're
right.
okay.
Jump in now. We can go on to the others as well.
Okay, so the first one was about the exclusions. So this is I put some sessions up, and it was an 8-week session, 8 weeks of sessions. But then the 8 weeks came to an end. But then I had some more funding, so I was going to regenerate those sessions again for another 8 weeks. So I unpublished it when they finished. And then I wanted to republish it again when the next one started with slightly different dates. All I did was edit the session to different dates and then publish them up again. So what my question really was, well, if there's a static URL for that page, the moving more page that I can give out to people, would that link have stayed the same when I unpublished and then republished the same session? So I just took it offline, then pushed it back up again, or whether it would create a new unique URL for it, and therefore the link wouldn't be of any use again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, are you asking specifically about the activity finder? So like the activity finder URL?
This is the one if you browse to the moving more page for the activity. So because I've been asked also by somebody at HSP to provide a link for the activity to go onto a poster. That's another question, is where do I get that link? What's the best link to use? So I suddenly thought, if you unpublish and republish, even the link I give them might be wrong because it might be changed when I republish. So this is why I'm asking to preempt a problem.
No, yeah. So I think because it's all open data ecosystem, it will update manually. So that moving more link will always be refreshed. If you unpublish, it will go off that moving more link. And once you republish, it will automatically refresh and appear on that moving more link. That's like one of the main benefits of this whole open data ecosystem. Dom can probably vouch for it a bit better than I can.
So the link will stay the same, will it?
I'm imagining, so the link you would use would be on Moving More when you've gone through, added the filter, click through to that page, and then you can basically within your web browser
just copy the link from the URL at the top.
Yeah.
And that should still be good sound if I did in the future unpublish and republish in case this happens again.
I'm not 100%. That might be one we have to get back to you, Bob, if that's all right.
Okay. I'll try and avoid doing it.
I'm personally not 100% sure on that. I don't know if you are.
I'll try and avoid doing it, and then won't be a problem.
Yeah, no worries. Maybe that's something we look into, do a bit of an experiment and get back to you.
I could probably do it myself. I could upload my session and then quickly take it down and then put it up and see if the link changes.
Yeah.
I suppose. Nobody's going to look at it in 5 minutes, are they?
Yeah, no worries. And if you want help with that.
I'm 90% sure the link doesn't change from ones that I've done before. But I have, like Indy, I have like a dummy account that I use for myself that I can upload and things like that. So I'll want to load one of my sessions, send it across to myself, unpublish it and send it across. But I'm pretty much 99% sure it doesn't change. So it's still the same live link that you'll be able to use. But I will 100% give you a full answer on that today, if that's okay.
Great. And Lindsay, if you could just clarify exactly where the best place is to get that link to give back to you at HSP to use on a poster. So I get a reliable link and not one that might change. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. It might be worth you and Lindsay connecting after this, but to make sure we can get that all sorted.
And the other one was on exclusions. You quickly went through the demo of adding a session, Indy, and you put in start date and finish date type stuff. But then there was another screen after that I took several goes at to get right, I think. I've done this a while ago, I haven't done more. I've got to do another one shortly. And that was the exclusion. So if there's like dates missing, like the hall isn't available during that 8-week period, you've got to put 1 week in when it's not available. There was an exclusions bit. And I'm sure that from my memory, when I was doing it, I messed that up and had to go have a couple of goes at doing that. So it perhaps wasn't as clear as I thought it was supposed to be. And also the number of sessions, I was saying like there are 8 sessions. But then if there's one missing in the middle, do I say there's 9 sessions to allow for the one missing, or do I say 8 and then the exclusion will account for that and add another week onto the end of the end date? Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's a really good question. I am going to have to ask my project manager and come back to you.
Okay.
I can go through all of this with you, Bob. It's not a problem. What we'll do is we'll set up a call, just me and you, and I'll go through everything. We'll get it all sorted for you and make sure that it all looks correctly, and that it's all uploaded accurately. That's not a
Okay,
problem
thank
at
you.
all.
Probably work it out, but it'd be quicker if I'm
Yeah.
shown. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Thanks.
It's one of those things that if you've sort of shown how to do it, it makes far more sense. I'm like that. I need to be shown rather than try and do it myself. I completely get
I've
it.
had a career as an IT trainer, so I know where you're coming from.
Karen's asked that how many of these sessions are free. So Karen, we have about 8,000 sessions, between 8 and 12,000. It's sort of fluctuating at the moment, sessions on there. I can't tell you exactly how many of them are free, but there is a good balance of free sessions. There's a good balance of paid ones, or ones that require sort of like a 10-week upfront book. So we've got the whole of Hertfordshire Parkrun on there. So obviously all of their sessions are free. But we have some of the sessions at things like Everyone Active and Stevenage Leisure, which do have a cost associated to them. But there is a filter option on the activity finder where you can filter by price as well. So you can, if you want, filter it to just only the sessions that are free within your area. I think Kate's question is going to be for either you or MD Dom. So they use XN. How are they pulling the activities in? Do they need to do anything? Some of our activities are not bookable on XN, but I would have to upload these through open sessions. And what about short courses? Would we just put the first session on? We have a number of third parties who run activities in our centre. Would you be reaching out to those groups? Would it be up to you? Sorry, Kate, what centre do you run? Sorry.
I think there's a few questions in there, isn't there,
Yeah.
Dominic? So
I'll let Kate come back to us about the organisation. But yeah, really good questions, Kate. XN is probably the biggest booking system that hasn't yet enabled open active, and it's actually been on their radar. They've said this to us for a while. So we, if you're able to drop them a message and say, look, I'd love to be able to publish my activities, that would really help. Hopefully get them over the line. We've got a few different activity providers for using XN that have sent the message. So that's brilliant. Oh, and thanks for sharing your organization. So to answer your question, at the moment, XN doesn't publish open data. Therefore, probably your best bet is to use open sessions. And you're absolutely right. So hypothetically, if XN were able to publish open data, they would need to be bookable, as is the case with Legend and Gladstone users. So open sessions is the best way anyway, for bookable or non-bookable sessions for yourself at the moment. And I think the last question was around third parties using the running activities in your centre. So absolutely, they can. If you're able to put them in touch with us, with Lindsay, I'm sure we'll be able to help them out, guide them through open sessions, or whichever system they are using. I think that's probably the best way forwards. But yeah, thanks again for your questions. Really, really good ones.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be we weren't expecting you to go and add all their sessions, but if you can advocate for moving more on open data and then put them in contact of, that would be great. And I think there's a wider question around the XN, Dominic, potentially. So for booking platforms that are open data compliant, will these activities automatically appear, or is there a step that providers need to do? Might be worth touching on that.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. A really good point. I think it's the system dependent is the answer. So some systems will allow you to be really will let you publish everything quite easily. Some will allow you to sort of select which activities that you specifically should publish. I think that's probably the case for most of them, is that you can kind of go one by one, which ones you want to publish and which ones you want to not publish. And as I say, normally, at least with sort of Gladstone and Legend, they need to be sort of we call web bookable, I think, in Gladstone. So, but yeah, I guess that's only relevant for a certain group of folks in the call today. But yeah, do check with. So we've also got a list of different websites and systems where they've got the instructions to publish open data. So if you do use one of those systems in the list, then do get in touch. We can kind of connect you with the right page and the right instructions to publish your sessions, depending on which system you use.
As far as I can see, I think that's all the questions, man. But there's some really good questions in there. I think that was really useful things to go through. So thanks to everyone who put them in.
Could I ask one more? Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
On one of your slides, you showed various activity finders. And because I'm from Badminton, I noticed that Badminton England was on there. And my session's obviously badminton related. So I'm trying to understand the way the whole system works here. So if I upload something through open sessions that gets onto Moving More,
Yep.
will that activity get onto the Badminton England's own activity finder as well somehow?
That's correct.
It
That's
will,
correct.
okay, right. Because I think somebody else told me, oh no, you need to put your sessions on their own specific platform as well, because they've got their own called No Strings platform. So it will actually appear anywhere on their finder, will it? Okay, I haven't
That's-
checked. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Bob, you're absolutely spot on. And actually, that's the whole premise behind
Yeah.
open data is that you
Yeah.
publish it once, and the relevant platforms can then pull your activities on theirs,
Right.
from wherever you publish it. So that's yeah. So it's a really. I'm glad you asked that question.
Right, so the more people that buy into this, the better.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dominic and Indy. I hope the rest of you have found it that it's not as scary to upload your sessions to the activity finder. And obviously you've got my details, Indy's details, and Dominic's details. This recording will be sent across to all of yourselves as well. And it will be on both the Moving More, it will be on the Moving More website with the one from Tuesday. So if you do are sitting there this afternoon and you have any more questions that you can think of, just feel free to drop me an email. And if I can't answer it, then I'm really lucky that the guys at Imin and Open Sessions, we work really closely with them. Imin and London Sports, sorry. We work really closely with them, and they're really, really good at getting back to me and answering any questions that I have. And there is no silly questions when it comes to things like open data and uploading your sessions. So yeah, I think if that is it, hopefully we'll see all your sessions uploaded to the activity finder soon. I will just put the link for the form in the chat as well, just in case anybody wants to send anything across to me.